Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the More Sibyl Podcast. My name is Mo, and today we're talking about the enigmatic world of twins, a topic that both fascinates and intrigues many of us, including myself. Like many of you, I too am very obsessed with twins. I mean, I'm married to one, so there goes. So just imagine my shock over how many years I've been married that I discovered just how ordinary these people can be, They're just regular people, shocking. And despite our collective fascination with the extraordinary bond, I imagine that while the idea of having a twin will spark curiosity and envy in the hearts of those who might walk into the journey of life alone, but being a twin carries its own set of complex, conflicting emotions and experience. So imagine just saying that your own existence might threaten the uniqueness and independence of someone else, someone who might share your face, your birthday, and perhaps your deepest secrets, right? So what is it really like to be a twin? It's a question that goes far beyond the charming cliches and synchronized telepathy often portrayed in Hollywood movies. Today we have not one, but two sets of twins who will be helping us unpack the layers of their twinhood. From the joyous to the challenging, they will share the insights into their shared and individual lives. And these twins, their existence stretches across different continents, yet they're connected by an unbreakable bond. So whether you've dreamt of, being a twin or you're captivated by their stories, today we'll explore those dynamics. And so today we have four, hopefully the fourth one can join us. Today we have four individuals, potentially. One is the Adedipe twin, no order of magnitude or anything. One is the Adedipe twin, Kendi and Taiwo. And then we have the Popoola twins, Kendi and Taiwo. For our non-Nigerian or non-African audience, in our tribe as Nigerian Yorubas, anyone bearing Kendi or Taiwo, it's a dead giveaway that that's like a pair of a set of a twin. So Taiwo is someone that came to the world first, and then Kehinde literally means the one that came after. And there's always that, I sent you to go on air, and there's always that, competition, I'm older by 2 seconds. We that are non-twins really don't care, but I'll let him introduce himself. Going from my screen, I'll start with Mr. Popoola, just with introduction of yourself, and then T-Dawg and Mr. Adedipe will go ahead as well. And thank you, by the way, for coming on the podcast today.
Yes, thanks for having me, Mo. Hello to the Adedipe Twins. Always glad to be on the More Sibyl podcast. When I got the invitation, I was happy to oblige. Hopefully, my Taiwo is able to join. I've been trying to reach out to him. Looks like he might be having some network issues. But just to give a brief introduction about myself, my name is Adedipe and Popoola. But as you see on the screen, the two Kennys I've put Kenny because it's a popular nickname for candies, and like Mo said, is a giveaway. So anytime you see a candy or a Kenny, the chances are they are twins. Although here in the UK, because I live in the UK, the Scottish and Irish, there are lots of Kennys. That's a popular name amongst them as well. So if you're speaking to a Scot or an Irish, they might not be twins. So like I said, I currently live in the UK with my family. I work as a digital analyst with a retailer. My day-to-day job involves configuration of analytics on their digital platforms. The bond between myself and my twin, if he joins, you'll see that we're identical twins. So it's just an automatic giveaway. When people see us, the first thing they look at, they do a double take and say, "Oh, guys, twins," and say yes. And then the question happens: which one of you is Taiwo? Which one of you is Kendi? That kind of conversation goes on. But yeah, that in a nutshell is my intro, and I'm happy to explore more questions. So
Thank you. T-Dawg.
Why not
No.
Let the Kenyans go first now. Okay, I'm Taiwo Adedipe, and I guess my twin brother is the one with the
Fine face.
Right, with the fine face and whatever he did on his head there, I don't know. But anyway, I live in Edmond, Oklahoma, and what else am I supposed to say? Yeah, I'm glad to be here on the More Sibyl podcast again. I heard I have a lot of fans here, so maybe Kenny can get some fans too. So in terms of,
right?
Candy. No, we are okay. Kenya, Adedipe, yes. So those that are watching can. I'm a physician. I work in one of the local hospitals here. I work as a hospitalist, and I take care of patients that are sick in the hospital. Try to stabilize them and then send them on their way back, so home. So that's what I do in a nutshell. And I'm glad to be here. Nice to meet you all.
Last but not the least.
Hi everyone, my name is Omokende Babajide Adedipe. Omokende Begbon.
Sure.
Senior one to T-Dawg. We sent into the world to go and test the world how it is first of all, then we decided to come and say, when it's okay, this is good and all. So anyways, that's just a popular story that goes on in the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. I'm professionally trained as an architect and interior designer from Nigeria recently. Well, I wouldn't say recently anymore because I'm about 3 years in the UK now. I live in Derby in the United Kingdom, and I work as an interior designer for Cantaloupe Incorporated, which is a company predominantly based in the US, and they deal in micro market systems and all that. So I do mock-up designs for them to. Basically, I don't want to just bore you all with all the stuff and all that too, but in just a nutshell, I work as an interior designer for Cantaloupe PLC too.
Great.
I'm glad to be here, Mo. Thanks for bringing me on the show, and it's nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Taiwo P can also join us soon to be
nice. Yes, hopefully. Right, to get his perspective. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you to Mr. Kenny Popoola for suggesting this. He had actually shared a video with me that was done by Cruz. And we got talking. He came here, when he came visiting here, we got talking about it. And I realized, you know what, that's something we can explore. And anytime Mr. Kenny tells me to do anything for the podcast, I just always, do it, because he and his wife, Tutu, are just very strong supporters of the podcast. So thank you, Mr. Kenny. This question, I'm just going to ask it, and anyone can feel free to hop on it. Can you recall the moments when you realize that being a twin made your relationship different from other sibling relationships? And it might also help, before you answer this, to kind of talk about your positioning in your family. I imagine you all have, I know for like the Adedipe, I know your positions in the family, but for the sake of those who don't know.
I could go first this time.
Sure.
Okay. Kende, well, they call me last card. That's what they call me, as I was the last to come through Mom's birth canal. That's what she likes to drum that in my head. So, we're seven in the family, yeah. The last of us, which is Taiwo and I, twins, and I won't exactly say that I knew when we were like twins and stuff like that, but it was something like, you just grow into it more or less. You don't know. I think it's just the fact that I had a playmate. I know I had a playmate that was always there to have fun with, more or less. So then the kind of dressing, I think the dressing was just kind of what made it sealed it up for us. Like, anytime we're wearing stuff, this guy's wearing the same thing as me. What's all this one now? Why is this guy wearing this stuff? And I think that kind of like makes it more sit with you that, okay, this guy, you're a twin. And I think that was just what made me realize it. I think the dressing, that was the first thing. Then having a playmate to always have fun with at all times. Sleep together. No, I hope that didn't come out in the wrong way. We slept on the same bed. Slept on the same bed, had fun with everything together. You did everything together, bathed together too, school together, the same classrooms and all that too. So that's basically what made us. Yeah, that's it from my end.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I can go next. So in our case, Taiwo and I are the first of our moms Best Canal.
Oh, okay.
No, we use Best Canal narrative, aren't we?
Best canals now.
So we're the first from our mom, and then we've got two sisters. But our own family is unique in a way that there's a lot of twins in our family. So my paternal grandfather was a twin. He was a Kende. So my dad's dad was a Kende. And then my mom has twin siblings as well. So my grandmom was Yabeji and my granddad was Yabeji. So it was just a thing that, okay, another set of twins in the family. And when we go for extended family events, it was like, oh, they'll say Kende, and it's the case of which of the Kendes are they talking about. So that's when that dynamic, that, okay, there are peers of us within the family, and then the regular things of having to wear the same sets of clothes, and things like that. But yeah, within the extended family, it was just a regular thing because there's been like generations of twins, so like from the grandparents to my aunties, and then also again, so different generation of twins. So it's quite unique in that way, where everybody already liked the twin because we already had them in the family. So yeah, it was quite interesting growing up within that kind of extended family settings.
Thank you. T-Dawg?
Okay, I guess the last, but no, whatever. Blanking out now. But anyway, so just like Kanye said, we're the last cards were the 6th and 7th of the family, and I guess I would say I kind of agree with Kanye, that growing up and getting the same clothes, the same things, pretty much same shoes, clothes, everything, sort of the same, right? And co, like they call it. We used to do that, growing up a lot. My parents also, especially my mom, as she was a teacher, right? She would like to, make sure that we stayed in the same class and all that. So we had the same friends, went to the same school, we're together up until, I think, was it primary school, NAA, or so. No, we're in the same class till command, actually. I think secondary school, maybe the senior secondary school, SS1 or so, is when we're separated into, two different classes, but pretty much we had the same friends and everything growing up to that point. But yeah, doing everything together, going to parties together and all that stuff. And like Mr. Kenny said too, we had twins from my mom's side. Her older sister had twins.
Two
sets of twins, yeah. So, and then she had twins. My mom had twins, so yeah.
Okay. So thinking about the relationships you have, in what way do you think you might be similar to your twin? In what ways do you think you're different? And I know you have a set of fraternal twins, which is T-Dawg and Kenny Adedipe, and then Mr. Kenny and his twin, who's not here yet. You're identical. So I imagine that there are just some things that people just see, phenotypically they look alike, right? In what ways do you think you're all similar or even different differed significantly?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, most people see myself and, kind of, especially maybe his picture or something, be like, oh, you guys look like brothers, but we don't look like, we're not identical. We're not anything identical. And then what was the other part of your question again?
Yeah, how are you similar?
Similarities.
How are we similar? Well, growing up, I know we did we're partners in crime. especially doing some really, so we like to fight a lot, when we were younger, we did lots of mischievous things, I'm sure I kind of remember growing up with the milk
you stole from your neighbor's house.
Yeah, we kind of sneak through the window. I'm not.
That was Cyrillac.
Yeah. would climb, and sneak through the window, like the barricaded iron bars, and oh my God, did some really naughty things. But yeah, but what I'll say though is, I think we both had, we would both have, similar drives to be the best that we could be. I think that's one thing I know stands out. What else? What other ways are we similar?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Kenny?
To be fair, he said most of it already. He said most of it. When they first said the pictures, they said, "Are you sure you guys definitely look alike, but you guys don't look like twins." Of course, we're fraternal. According to the medical term, I think I learned that from Taiwo. One day I came, was it monozygotic, dizygotic?
Dizygotic, yeah. Two. Yeah. 2 different eggs. Yeah.
Stuck in my head since year 1 or year 2 in Unilag.
Yeah.
So, and yes, partners in crime. I was usually the instigator. And I used to put him in a lot of trouble that time too. And thank God for God, anyway. But
when you committed the crimes and who confessed the easiest?
I was the easiest to confess.
Of course, we know. Before they won't ask, already confessed. Must have been annoying being a twin with him because you can never keep secrets.
I could not lock up.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kenny, how about you?
Yeah, in our case, I guess because we're identical twins, the difference is more around our interests. And this is part of the thing that grinds me up because I'm identical twins, is the binarization. Trying to figure out which one is this, which one is that. People come and ask like, oh, which one is older, which one is younger, which one came out first, which one is the quiet one. Because of the cliche you see in like Hollywood and in movies and in books, there's always an evil twin. So which one is the evil twin? Which one is the good twin? But for us, for the most part, we have similar temperaments. Growing up, we used to be very quiet. I remember our aunt telling us a story that she used to enjoy babysitting us because we didn't used to give her any troubles. But I think our differences were more around what we liked. I was more like into electronics, cars. But Taiwo was more like creative, used to draw a lot and things like that. So it was in our interest that those differences came out. But personality-wise, I think we pretty much are like identical personalities as well. But yeah, for me, that binarization of which one is this, it just, it grinds me up every time. But it's one of the perks of being a twin.
As a lay audience, let me just say, it just gets us going. Like, we're not doing it to kind of like, be voyeuristic. It's just like when you see identical people, it's like, wow, you guys look the same. Like, you're looking around and it's like, so it's, just indulge us. We don't mean it. Well, I'll speak for myself. I don't mean it as, it's just very fascinating seeing twins, All right. And thanks all around for those responses. I guess the next question would be, so in our society, how we grew up, right? I think it's probably changing now because of the way parenting is done. You had solid expectations, be a doctor or lawyer or judge or anything or nothing else. And from all of you here, you have different interests. You pursue, we have IT, architecture, medicine. So given that within families, siblings are compared to one another, period. But how much more twins, where there's that juxtaposition of timing, right? This is somebody that you should be doing equally as good as. For the set of you here, how are you able to stand out differently, knowing that you and your twin had, varied interests and you had different paths as far as career and all that? Were there times where you're compared to one another? How was that like for you?
Yeah, we were definitely compared to one another. Sometimes. Well, I think if I can go first.
Sure, yeah, go, yeah.
Okay. So,
go ahead.
I think I was more like the playful one of the. I am still the playful one.
I'll say was.
Oh, is that all playful now? Has he?
No, you still are. Don't worry. No, he's trying, but nobody can beat your tempo. Don't worry.
So, and I was kind of the one that I don't like to read for long. I can pick up a book and I'm just and I'm gone. My attention span is like that of a fish, like Dory, you know. Dory.
And you find anymore, yeah. So yeah, maybe I think find anymore, yeah.
So, but it doesn't take me long to grasp stuff and all that too, and so I think that kind of affected me. I could get things easily. I used to take first. I said, well, they used to say that time that, okay, you know, when you're telling your children I used to take first in school, but this was literally I used to take first in school all the time. So, and I think I kind of like got too relaxed into it, and I got too self-confident that I just thought I didn't need to read that much as that. I think I used to surpass Taiwo in those early days. That too.
I agree.
Yes.
Until I took over.
After you took over, because I just let you anyway, you know. When you just let you know, you let the younger ones grow a little bit. Anyway, that's by the side.
Sacrilegious.
Let me get back on track. So, of course, but I think it was a healthy competition nonetheless, amongst us, between both of us, and we were also compared at some time, especially when we got to secondary school. When it was time to present your results to Dad, and you hear the whistles, and then you don't bring your pen. You go bring your report cards. Then I'll be looking at this one and looking at my own. Anyway, I remember the last one that happened. The last one that was really 1996. After our elder.
You remember the date?
I remember 1996. Just after our elder sister's wedding. We had done everything. That let everything slide. He asked us for a result. That day, I remember I took my report card was the worst ever in my life. I had 36. I was 36 in class. Yes.
Out of how many?
Out of many. We're plenty. Maybe like 70 something or 80 something in that class that time. Orange, GSS3 orange. I remember. Taiwo was 12th or 15th. I can't remember, but obviously it was better. And that calls us. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Where should you don't
You went to trials and tribulation. You went to exams.
I thought you guys wrote exams. Yeah. Okay. I said, okay, let's go. So we now went downstairs to go pick the. We hid it. I remember that cupboard now by the side where we used to keep our toast machine and all those old. On that one mat there. We now brought. I said, Taiwo, you want to still better now, you know?
You start first.
Maybe you should go first. Let me go first. You go first. We went. We presented it to Popsy. Opened it. Popsy just went. Folded it. Second one. Folded it. And I was like, what are you guys waiting for? Say it in Yoruba. What are you guys waiting for? You beat, you smacked. Oh no! So the next term we came out with really good. I think I became second or so. I can't remember. Anyway, we did much better than that. I think that was usually the goal. But I think we usually were at par with each other. But Taiwo obviously was gone in for the medical line, so he was reading more. He loves to read. Taiwo loves to read. I'm more of a visual person. I hate staring at books for so long. I get bored easily. And let me just summarize it. Sorry.
Thank you. You're good. Mr. Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, for us, that comparison is constant with every milestone. For us, unlike the Adedipe, for our primary and secondary school, I think our parents did that cautious effort of making sure we were not in the same class. Different classes. And I think in those years, we were pretty much at par. We always compliment each other as in our scores and things like that. But when we got to the university, we studied the same course. So we're in the same class. We were in the same class. We did the same classes together. I did slightly better than him in a few of the courses, and yeah, those comparison will happen now. Yeah, is the same. Because what do you have? You have two sets of people. They were born on the same day. They had access to the same resources and things like that. The expectation is that they go at par, but not realizing that we have our individualities. Even career-wise, we've now drifted. I stayed more into the IT role. He's gone into like marketing and all. So there's always that comparison with every milestone that I achieve in my own. They try to juxtapose it with his career to say, okay, then what are you doing in your own bit? Which each individual has their own parts, but unfortunately, it's the case that people still have that mindset that you have access to the same resources, so you should keep moving at the same level. But it's not always the same case. It also happens with different milestones in life. When you get married, when you start to have children, it's the same thing. Okay, how about your twin? You meet somebody and you have a chat with them. Oh, okay. Oh, you're married now. Okay, so but did you guys marry on the same day? So things like that. But yeah, it's always a constant need to remind people that we're our own individuals and we'll just do things in our own time.
Yeah. I mean, and thanks for that reminder. I feel like sometimes when we, as non-twins, when we ask those questions, we may have good intentions, but then the message it might be sending might be quite contrary to the goals we're seeking. So thanks for that reminder of just how we ask questions. So I think coincidentally, all of you live on different planets, right? Your twin set. So Mr. Kenny, you live in the UK, your twin lives in Nigeria, and then the Adedipe are scattered between the US and the UK. What challenges have you faced, living apart from your twin in different countries? Not even just physical, but time and, even growing apart as the sense of that word, not being there physically. And how have you been able to maintain that bond, the twin bond as it were?
Yeah, in one part, I mean, I've not physically seen my twin in over a decade. I was with my auntie yesterday and she was like, oh,
wow.
When last did you go to Nigeria? I was like, yeah, it's been ages. I've not physically seen him in ages. So yeah, it's been that long. It's the new reality we see in the world where families are scattered all over. So yeah, that's a bit of a challenge. But we talk every other day. I mean, technology has made it easier that we get to talk a lot. But it's just the case that we've not had the need to go back to Nigeria in a while, and the rest of the family in North America as well. So that dynamics is there for us. So I think for me, it's more around the physical interaction with him. So yeah, it's been that long, and thank God for technology and the ability to be able to use other means to interact. But yeah, definitely soon we'll touch base.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot again, but when you said a decade, even though it's been that long, how do you think? Because again, you guys are identical, which not saying that fraternal twins will have the same problem, right? But you know how they say twins, you guys have this bond, you're like each other's best friends, right? If I haven't seen my best friend in 10 years, it's like, can I still call them my best friend? Do you think that distance and time has eroded the quality of your relationship, despite keeping in touch through technology and all that?
No, because with twins, I think we've got a special dynamic between ourselves. It's not like what you see in the movie, like if somebody taps me, yeah, we'll feel it in Nigeria.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen that way.
Don't really for us. This is how we think. We think it's like that. Like you guys just feel everything.
No, but we have that bond where we grew up together. There's always going to be that bond where even when we get on the call, we are still able to bond and fill those gaps that, I mean, yes, physically that's missing, but we're still able to fill those gaps of that distance between us. We, like in our case, we can pretty much talk about anything. keep him up to date on what's going on with me. Likewise from his end as well. So yeah, it's just the privilege of that twin bond is always going to be there. I mean, like from our family where we've got lots of twins, there's always that dynamics as well. I look at like my grandparents and my aunties that are twins. They also had that dynamics where they are living separately, they live separately, or they're living separately. And we always knew that there was always going to come that point in our lives where we're going to be apart, because we saw it with the ones that preceded us. So,
well, immigration, separating families one person at a time. All right, the Adedipe Twins. How about you guys?
Do you want to go, Taiwo? Or do you want me to go?
Oh, you'd like to go first now? Just like
Taiwo.
We should talk about this twin competition next.
As in, like, really? Anyway, I think ours was more like because we went on different paths when it came to university, and I think that kind of eased it into reality. Like, we're going to be living apart for a while. As we went into medical school, and I was back in studying architecture, so we weren't seeing that constantly anymore. After year one, the last time we really lived together was in our year one, when we were both in newest hall together. We squatting under him, and then when he moved to Idera Baluth, and I was back in Unilag, and we were seeing maybe once in 2 weeks, every fortnight or something, or once a month. I can't remember how frequently we used to see them, but that kind of like sets the pace for how everything went. And leaving school, then getting married too, then moving to the US, and that was the longest period. That was I think you left in 2011, right?
Yes,
2011, and we didn't see until 2019 again. That was a good 8 years, which was very, very long. Thank God you were witness the day we saw each other. It was a very beautiful moment. Like, I have it on video. Still have it on video.
Just send it, please, when you're done. I haven't seen that in a while.
I can send it.
Yeah, it should.
I'll send it. I still have it on video, and I think when I saw you that day, it made me realize how much I had missed you.
Oh.
Right. Do you want
Kleenex or what? Give him Basia. Let him cry inside Basia.
So seeing him made me know how much I've missed him so much that time. And it's just a special bond that you respect. Even though we are very different in our way of life, or the way we interact with everything. And I think it's been about 4 years now, 5 years as I saw you last again in Taiwo. And that's like yesterday when we were all going to Lekki. And that's wow. No, you shouldn't get to that anymore.
We'll rectify that soon, hopefully.
We'll.
Yeah. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you. How about you, T-Dawg?
What was the question again?
I know I had to repeat that. Your relationship, being so far away, how are you able to keep that going despite the distance between you guys in different countries? Yeah,
I think just as Candy said, we kind of highlighted, how, us studying different things in college kind of naturally, split out in two different directions, and that maybe helped ease the transition. I know sometimes even you say that, well, last time we heard from your twin brother, like, are you guys supposed to be close? Blah 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 blah.
Every time I have to do that's my duty as a wife. When I have to talk to your twin brother, because I expect you guys to talk every day.
No, it doesn't.
You only have one job as a twin, in my opinion. Call your twin every day. That's my fantasy.
So we might not talk every day, but when we talk, it's just like a continuation of where we stopped.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me. I don't know. This is just me as an outsider looking. If I had is it because guys or girls are different?
Sorry,
would it be different? Yeah.
Because you have a mindset of maybe like how twins are interconnected. Maybe there's this special DNA that runs it, that connects us together that you mustn't lose. I think that's what it's there in your head. So to be honest, we're just brothers that are born on the same day.
Do you think it might be different if we were females?
I'm not sure. I'm not a female.
Because trust me, I feel like if I had another twin like me,
you guys are
you people know your word though.
I think Mo might be right.
Yes, to be honest,
so my aunts that are twins, they're women. They're fraternal, they're not identical. But growing up and watching them, oh my God, they were inseparable. So I think for women, it's different.
Yeah.
From what I gathered, maybe not all.
And even some mixed, like male.
Might be different.
Like one of the nurses at work, was telling me that she's a twin. Her brother, she has a twin brother, and that they're very close. They talk maybe every other day or something.
I think the female dynamic I've seen is that they really like each other or they hate each other. Like, there's no in between. But the guys are just mellow, like, I'm a twin. I'm like, you guys are cool like this. Like, every day. We're talking every day, But again, this is part of the fun. This is what we're talking about, is just to debunk a lot of the myths and fantasies we have. Yeah. So this question is very general because I don't know if it pertains to any one of you. And I got it was inspired by the video Mr. Kenny has sent to me. And I've observed some things. I've observing some of my friends who are twins. There's this, and I think it comes from the family unit, usually maybe the parents. Say, for example, there's a twin is preferred or is more favorable to one of the parent than the other. And it sets them up in a way that there's that competition and jealousy, and is the way they even talk about themselves or the way one twin is perceived to be better at this and the other. For people who might be going through that, I don't want to make it personal, just to, in case you could want to, if it's applicable to any one of you, how do you, for those who might be going through this where you love your twin, but you're constantly being compared and it's really creating that jealousy and you feel like it's really affecting the quality of your relationship. For those who might be experiencing that, how can you help them explore through those dynamics? That might not even be due to something they caused, but because one parent is, favoring one twin or one sibling has favored one twin or things like that.
I don't think we grew up, feeling that, right? Like, did you really feel like? I think my parents did their best, not to feel like, they favored one person over the other. Although, we both knew that growing up, Kenny was one that caused more troubles.
And you were the snitch.
Yeah, and I was a snitch sometimes.
Snitches get stitches.
I was snitch. My God.
I snitched, but I didn't think we experienced that dynamic. Other than my older sister, our firstborn, I know sometimes she called Candy my son. So me too. I was growing up. I was like, okay, my son. So who is my own person? But I didn't really get to get to me. Maybe my older sister, stepmother, maybe she. I know she said even when I was a child, that they always liked to carry me because I was more
chubby. You were chubby. We've seen your pictures.
I see what you wanted to say.
I was more handsome and chubby and everything. I didn't cry. I didn't cause trouble. So they preferred to carry me and play with me than Candy. Maybe that's why my older sister was like,
if you don't mind.
Retort,
When I was born, according to Mom, you can ask her, she'll tell you I was a very special kid in the sense that very sensitive medically. Like I used to get a lot of reflux and all that too.
Yeah.
Skills, skin rashes and all that too. So I was very, very, very special. Like no one, just don't touch him kind of stuff. Like you get what I'm trying to say. I think Taiwo was born a healthy, bouncing baby boy. I was healthy, but still trying to thrive and all that too. So I think because I stayed much longer in mom's womb and all that too, and there was some. She would get to give you, if you ask her, she'll give you the story anyway.
Yeah.
So coming out to, I was just very. They had more. People were more open to carry Taiwo than I was, so I think I just had this
special connection,
inclination towards me at that time as the first.
That's the firstborn for you. They always feel the need.
That's why that's the reason why she used to call me
your son. Yeah,
it's not as if there was anything special, like I was more special than anything. I need to be more careful taking care of this child. Than Taiwo was, so that's just to.
And with Taiwo's big head, you could see him from afar, so that one was. I've seen those baby pictures, It's like
in our case, our parents and a lot of the family didn't show favoritism to either one of us. I mean, I think it also helped because we were identical, so they were like, oh, it was all fluffy, and these things, we'll take the two of them instead of choosing just one. So they didn't. We didn't get that sense of like one was favored more than the other. I think for me, the challenge is more around the comparison, where if one's trajectory is going in a certain way and they think, okay, the other one should follow the same trajectory, that's where it might feel as if everybody is trying to force the other one to keep up with the pace. And I guess the advice I'll give to any twin going through that, is just continue to encourage each other to say, you get it at your own time. Don't look at the external noise because it always be there. People always try to put this comparison in place. So just about the twins working together to try to shut off those external noises. But in terms of like favoritism, we didn't really experience much of that.
Yeah, okay. This is a good advice to live by. So all of you live in countries now that you were not born into, right? And I imagine you've interacted with non-Nigerian or African twins. How would you say your perception of your twindom, whatever that name, how do you express it as twins compared to non-twin, non-African or Nigerian twins that you've met or friends that you've met? Are there differences?
I, for one, I don't think I've met any twin here yet. So
okay.
An opinion on that yet too. But.
Okay, that's okay. How about you, T-Dawg?
I mean, I've met twins, like I said, at work and stuff, but I've not met their twin partners, so
it's hard to say. Yeah,
it's hard to tell.
Okay. Mr. Kenny, how about you?
Yeah, I've met, and they just sit like regular siblings. So I know like two sets of twins, identical and then fraternal. They just see themselves like regular siblings. We, especially like we are Yorubas, we've got like the Oriki going for us. We've got things like people think we're special. So like growing up, I don't know about you guys, growing up, the most money, people always try to chum me up to twins. Now the twins are really special. They try to give us money and things like that. But looking at other twins from other culture, they are just like regular twins. But us, like growing up in Nigeria, was quite special. And especially you go to places, people start singing your Ricky. It used to be quite embarrassing sometimes, but I enjoyed that bit. And these guys don't have it. But in the UK, from my UK experience.
Yeah. I kind of suspect you might wonder, those people that used to give you money as a kid now, where are they now? Can they still be sending the money? Like, cash up. So, for those that are listening, a little bit about Yoruba culture. This is also going to segue into my very next question. So, Yoruba is a tribe and also a language spoken by the Yoruba people in Nigeria. Twins or Ibeji, they hold this revered and mystical status. And the Yorubas, especially a part called Igbora in Oyo State, they have one of the highest occurrences of twin births in the world, and they attribute that to a special dish of yam and soup that they, which can cause multiple births. And this phenomenon is actually deeply embedded in our tradition and beliefs. And twins are considered to be auspicious. Some worship them. They feel like they have unique spiritual connections and believed to bring blessings to their families. And sometimes they might create like effigies or wooden figures called ere ibeji, which is an honor of a twin, sometimes who has passed away, to symbolize their continued presence in the family. With the introduction of Christianity and all that, a lot of people don't practice that anymore. But all that to say that families often celebrate twins with special ceremonies. Thank God for Mary Slessor, who came in Calabar to abolish the killing of twins, because that's also another story for another day. But I'm curious to know if either of you have any, or observe or cherish any specific twin-related traditions or beliefs from Nigeria. I know whenever I cook beans, Taiwo makes a big deal about it. Oh, is this a white bitch? I'm like, no, I just cooking beans, because he loves beans. So I'm just curious to know if you have any. I cannot make that oriki. But yeah, they have the oriki, and it's supposed to call out the date in them. Just play the YouTube version. But I'm curious to know if you had any special traditions any of you still uphold as twins. Yeah.
Not really. It's just when people just come out and give us the Riki stuff that gets me. To be honest with you, I think the Riki really gets into the head, especially when it's coming from your mom.
What does it do to you? What does it do to you? Can you describe?
It's psyching you up now. Do you get now? They're just psyching you up.
It makes you feel special.
Makes you feel really special.
Really?
Not really. Yeah.
I mean, we never know. I'm not a twin, so I don't know.
No, come on. You have them. You're from.
I have a Ricky, but yeah, my grandma used to say, but she's no longer here, so nobody to give me a Ricky. But I feel like the twin was different.
You said it. Didn't you feel special?
There's something. Yeah, it calls something out to me that I can't even describe.
That's it. That's exactly the feeling too. It just makes your head. Well, you say your head swells.
But it's the same Ricky they use for all of you, right?
Yes, it's the same.
So it's not so special, anyways.
Well, so it's not as special.
I mean, it's special for twins, but then it's almost all twins getting the same thing.
Okay,
or something like that. I wish I had it. Yeah. And Taiwo, anytime I say it with Taiwo, he just grins. I'm like, no, Shirley. Oh, okay. Mr. Kate, how about you? Do you eat beans? Like, is this something? I mean, when you have beans in your family, do you tie that to like your YBG thing? Hashtag.
No, but grandma used to do it when, growing up, every other summer she would say YBG, she would do it, and those are memories that I always cherish. But growing up and moving out of Nigeria, we don't get to do that a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Looking back now, right? What would you say? I mean, because you all have your uniqueness, even though you have this twinship you all share. Looking back, what would you say to your younger selves about the journey ahead of as twins? Like, given how everything has unfolded in your lives, if you could go back in time.
Say to your younger selves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it knowing how things are now?
Yeah, how things are now. Like preparing yourself, like all the things you've had to go through, the sort of comparisons and the path you've taken and all of that. Like, and this is also just putting something out there for the listeners who might still be on their journey. Like younger listeners. Yeah.
Yeah, that don't put too much pressure on yourself, and everything will turn out fine. Just keep grinding, I guess.
Thank you. Mr. Kenny, how about you?
For me, I'll say, especially for the identical twins, I'll say embrace your individualities. I know you guys look the same, and people will expect you to act the same, but identify those individualities that you have and embrace it and fulfill it, but also make the most of your identicality. Start a Facebook channel, start a YouTube, TikTok, people like looking at twins. You look at adverts. They use twins in adverts. If the twin that uses the dishwasher gets clean after the one that doesn't use it, so people like looking at twins. So you might as well make
money out of it. Don't leave money on the table.
I grew up with the internet. Imagine if Taiwo and I had started a YouTube channel way back ago. We'll be millionaires by now. So for twins, make the most of that curiosity, not to talk about you, but also embrace those individuality that you've got.
And I think that's a very solid advice all around, by the way. And I think that's also very, very applicable to people with siblings, especially when you have different dynamics. So, thanks for that reminder. So I know for the Adedipes, growing up, they had this dream to build houses beside each other and maybe get married on the same day. Clearly, it's not working. We're so far apart. There's a huge ocean between us. But I'm curious to know. I'm still going to ask the Adedipes, but for Mr. Kenny, were there some childhood aspirations you had with your twins that are related to just doing life together? And how's that turning out?
Yeah, definitely had the aspiration of doing life together. Not necessarily like living close to each other, because like I said, we've seen like other twins in our family do different things. So we know at some point we'll have to do our things, but I didn't envisage we'll be living like this far apart and not seeing each other regularly. But for the most part, I think things have turned out well for us in the sense that we started off studying the same thing because our dad was into IT as well and introduced us into it, and we studied it in our first degree. I have since carried on the path, but I'm glad to see that it's taken up a different path. So in my mind, I'm able to see what could have been if I did something else and not what like dad did, and I'm continuing on. So I'm able to see, okay, if I ended up working as a marketer, this is how it would have been. So yeah, that's something. And I think there's something about twins that's quite admirable, where you've got two people that have the same opportunities. You can not necessarily mirror each other, but you can see what could have been in your partner. And I see that with a lot of the twins in my family. They pursue different careers, and you can tend to see, okay, if we switch the role and until this was doing this and this was doing that, it would have been interesting to see that dynamic. So it's quite nice to see on like single teams where, okay, you're a doctor and you only know what it feels like being a doctor. But imagine you have somebody that looks exactly like you, that is doing what you would have wanted to do. I think it's quite nice to see. Well, in my own head.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Adedipe, do you have anything you want to add?
No, not per se.
Pretty much, yeah. All right. So for parents who might have twins, especially younger parents with twins and all that, any advice you'd like to give them, especially helping to, because I feel like a lot of the trajectory you find in twins is really built from how they grew up, right? How was that said to either encourage or demolish, as it were? And it seems like you all had very good upbringing that didn't really set you guys apart. But for those who might still be doing this, maybe getting started with raising their twins, what are some of the advice you'd like to give them based on your experiences as twins?
Well, I think if I can go first.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think they should respect each one of them's individualities too. They were born on the same day, but they have their strengths and their weaknesses too. So as I said earlier on the show, I said we are just brothers or sisters or siblings just coincidentally born on the same day. So that's just what makes us twins. So, and I think everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses too. So just try to encourage each one of them as both individuals and not try to compare so much. And that's just basically just encouraging them to be their own selves and not to compare. That kind of strengthens their own resolve to life and how they see life moving into the future too. So,
thank you for that. Solid advice. Anyone wants to add anything to that?
Yeah, and I think twins can, and yeah, I'm not sure we did this a lot growing up, but you know, two is better than one, right? Yes, we are individuals, and you know, having a twin brother or sister, you know, you can identify their weaknesses, right? So if you do that, you can actually identify each other's strengths, and you know, hopefully, if one strength, you know, can make up for the other's weakness, so that way you can build each other up, you know, growing up. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, just almost like as a team, united team, to complement one another. Where one is strong, the other person can, you know, one and one is weak. Sorry, the other person can pick up. Thank you. Mr. Kenny, how about you?
Yeah, I think for like parents raising twins, I'll just say just expose them to equal opportunities. I know it might cost more, but just make sure you give them equal chances. I know sometimes some people are caught between, do we send one twin first to do this and the other at a later point? Where the opportunity and the means is available, I'll say just expose them to the same opportunity, because you don't want a situation where one thinks, what could have been if I was the one that had this chance as opposed to the other person. Even if it means like delaying it for a while. So like if say it's down to like, okay, they want to school and they say they want to study abroad, I can only afford one. It might be the case of, okay, just delay it by 1 year where you're able to gather up the money, so you send the two of them at the same time. Expose them to equal opportunities where possible.
That's a good one, because I imagine now with this economy, it's not even physically possible to meditate with. So I'd like to throw this question back to you. Knowing what you know about your lives and who you are and all that, would you still want to have twins if you had your way? Why or why not? Kenya, you're so cool to say no. Why not? I thought you guys were special.
That's what I practically I said. We're just humans born on the same day, so there's nothing special. I think it's just it's just stressful in this economic age to have to.
But some people want it, you know. Some people really, really want it, and prayers. Hopefully, those prayers are answered for those who eagerly want that. Yeah.
That's not no.
So for you, it's not for economic reasons, right?
I think so. It's a smart reason.
How about you, T-Dawg?
And people that go in. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Actually, I just think about it like, imagine having twins. You know, I mean, you didn't have an instant playmate. Someone to play. I mean, look at what we had, right? You know, before I didn't.
Always a puppy.
Imagine
two puppies.
Imagine if Shikemi had a twin sister or twin brother. She'd have had someone to play with and not feel, you know. So
that's Shikemi's point of view. How about the parent point of view?
Well, I feel like you know, having twins and just do the stress once and for all instead of like doing it one time and then. I feel
like you should ask the wife this question. Speaking of which, you'll be talking to the wife because you may have no idea what you're talking about clearly. Mr. Kenny, how about you?
No, it's just going to be double the work, and then maybe I like from far, maybe one of my siblings, and then I'll be able to give them all the advice and coaching from the side. Okay. And for those who are listening, if you want to add your question, because we'll be rounding off soon. And so speaking of which, we are going to be having a conversation with Mrs. Popoola Tutu and also Mrs. Iyano Adedipe, Taiwo's Kenya's wife. We're going to have a conversation with them just to see what's like being on the other side of the twin life. So you don't want to miss that episode. We'll announce that once we have all the schedules aligned. So before we go real quick, are there some things you feel like we should know? And by we on the other side, we with the fantasies and the perception about what twins should be like. What was that thing you want to get off your chest finally? This is your soapbox. And I'll give you guys the opportunity to
air out your final thoughts, as it were.
Anyone wants to go first?
I think you should go first since you mentioned.
We like to go first.
It is not a fantasy. There's nothing special. I think we should just break down myth, and as I said, I don't want you to sound like a broken record now. And I've said it already, and we're just individuals born on the same day, coincidentally with normal human beings that are living a life daily as every other one is living their lives. So, I don't know about other twins. Maybe there are some special twins somewhere that have that telepathic communication. Not met yet. I would really love to meet them too, to be honest. But maybe sometimes I just feel towards Taiwo. I just feel like to call him or reach out sometimes to maybe that is the telepathy. But I think that happens to everyone, me and everyone too. But I don't think it's supposed to be like a twin thing. But that's it from me anyway. Let's just break that myth. There's nothing really.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
T-Dawg?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any myth per se, Yeah, I think we're special. I'll say that one though. Yeah, we're special, definitely special. It's not every time that you have an instant sibling born on the same day, right? I think that makes it different. Or having like or triplets, or you're different, but you celebrate the same birthday, and it's just something I think that's unique and different. So, but again, we're not special per se in that sense compared to other people.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Mr. Kenny, by the way, your wife says she's going to cook beans for you tomorrow. And thanks to Tito for being here. I'm loving her comments. Come on, worry. She'll cook beans for you tomorrow. It's funny how I read it out in her voice. So that made it the one for me.
Yeah. Shout out to Tutu. She's one of a kind.
Yeah, she showed it. Yeah.
From my own end, it's just that bit I said earlier on in the show about the binarization. Just to let people know that it's not every time that there's the binary between the two people is okay for them to have like similarities. There's no evil twin. There's not necessarily an evil and a good twin. Two of them can be good. Two of them can be evil. So let's stop binarizing twins. Well, a quick question for the Adedipe Twins. I know you are not too.
I had a question for you too.
Wait. I'm the host of the podcast. Just kidding. Go ahead, Mr. Ken, and then T-Dawg, you can ask your question.
Yeah, I know.
I'm liking it. Yeah.
I know you are not identicals because I know in my case, sometimes I'm walking down the streets of London and somebody's like, "Oh, Taiwo, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "No, not Taiwo." And when the most recent one was, I went to pick my son up from school one day, and one guy too was entering to try and pick his son up, and I was like, Taiwo, why are you doing here? And like, oh, no, it's not Taiwo. It's like, wow, really? And then, we just got talking, but do you guys just get that sense of not being unique? Like if you meet other single teens, you meet them, I am meeting them for the first time. It's like I'm meeting a unique person. Okay, you get to meet the person, what's your name, and then that rapport builds up. But you meet somebody and like, oh, Taiwo, what are you doing here? Or Ken, why are you doing here? Because they've seen you before, so you don't feel unique. How does that happen to you, and how do you navigate that? How does that make you feel?
No, I let me go first this time.
I'm not done.
But I know that there have been some instances where I've been mixed up with Kanye before but I'm like, yeah, we don't look anything alike, why would you mix us up, things like that. But that's happened before, and I don't know. Kenny, what do you think?
It really doesn't. It's very rare because we're fraternal twins nonetheless. I think if we were more identical, that would have happened a lot. It's because we have distinct. He's taller than I am. I'm darker than he is.
It's more handsome.
Bigger head.
Yeah, but handsome in your own rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get that mixed up a lot. So I think it's more common with you, identical.
With the identical twins, yeah. And let me just say, the way you keep calling us singleton, I don't know. I was a little bit offended by that term. I was like, I was singleton. I was like, ouch. Yes. I thought we were one. I thought we were all in this together. Mr. Kenny. But it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. Well, me, I have a question for you, Mr. K. Sorry, I wasn't able to answer your question about whether they were mixed up and all that. Perhaps if you had like another set of identical twins. Speaking of identity, like when you were in school, did you always swap out, one another? Like, you go and do this for me while I, shank walk or shank school. Did you do that?
Yeah. We did that quite a bit. I mean, we're in the same class, so sometimes just getting to go to school, they'll change the shirt so it looks as if it's two different people. Those are some of the perks of being identical twins. So, yeah.
My question for you, though, was, do your siblings or your parents mix you up at home? And do you guys cover for each other?
Yes, we cover for each other. Mix up. Sometimes, like if we turn our backs to them and we speak, sometimes they don't get who is who. But like when they see us, they're able to recognize us.
How?
Sometimes.
How do they recognize you?
So that was So
Man, it must be confusing. It must really be confusing. I would like to see your kids, maybe when you all get to meet and see if your kids will be able to, have like, imagine just them looking like, Daddy has two people,
I remember meeting, I don't even meet, Tolani doesn't know them. Taiwo, you remember Kenya and Taiwo is me now?
Oh yeah. Don't they have like two sets of twins in that family?
Yes, they do. They have two sets of twins. The other ones, the younger ones they are fraternal. Those ones don't look alike. But the first ones, the ones that did architecture and whatever with.
Yeah, your neighbors. I remember them. Yeah.
Those are very identical, and it took a while before I got used to them too. But once I got to know, I knew them already. I could just tell. I didn't even need to do for anything special, or I could just tell. I don't know. Maybe it's that connection I had.
So you guys have connection. We knew it.
Connection. So I don't know. I can tell them apart easily too. My question also goes to Mr. Kenny Popoola too. So when you guys got in trouble in probably, let's say, primary or secondary school too, did they ever mistake you for Taiwo and you got beaten for? Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah.
Did you get blamed and did anybody say, you know what, let me go take cane for you, I'll stand on your behalf and stuff like that? I don't know. Maybe I can chase you better.
No, that only ever happened once because, like I said, for the most part in like primary, secondary school, we're like in different classes, but like in uni, we're in the same class. But only happened once where we got into trouble and we were mixed up for each other. Because for the most part, we were good kids, so we didn't usually get into trouble. So,
Yeah. Speaking of crimes, not that any one of you should be doing crimes, by the way, but did you know that identical twins, they present a unique challenge in forensics? And I know it's because I watch a lot of true crimes. Because of their shared DNA profile, there are several criminal cases where, because of an involvement of an identical twin, they were not able to distinguish who must have committed a crime. And due to the law of double jeopardy, they couldn't convict any of the twins, so they were let scot-free. So basically, if you want to commit a crime, not saying that here, get yourself an identical twin. And your siblings have come to defend themselves. They say you guys are not identical to you, to them, that they can tell you guys apart. They don't use your birthmarks to tell you guys apart. And this is from,
My sisters.
Yeah, your sisters are here to defend.
I still feel like no matter how identical you are, there's still something little, either from the facial appearance or something that they can use.
Yeah, there's always something to tell them apart.
But I think that has to come from continuous interaction with them. Because if I saw you for the first time, I'm just gonna be like, whoops, not gonna even bother myself. I have friends, Candy and Taiwo, so they keep confusing me till date because I can't tell who apart. Like, they have the same they used to have the same Facebook account. So if you're talking to one, at the point I just stopped trying to distinguish. And any conversation I had, it was just like one long conversation. I stopped saying who's Kenny, who's Taiwo, and they always did that just to get a rise out of me. So.
Oh yeah, they are really weird. That's a weird twin dynamic. I wonder why you didn't bring them up earlier. Like, how would they have one Facebook profile?
But they don't have that anymore. They're married now, so they have separate lives. But before then, they did everything together. Yes, they did everything together. They worked together. They were in the same line of business. Yeah. And your siblings wanted to say that your personalities are different. Ooh, they're shaking this table. Yeah. Well, I guess
as we've grown up, the differences in our personality are becoming more pronounced.
Hey. So I want to go and say I love you to the wrong twin. She said she couldn't tell you guys apart in uni. She couldn't tell you guys apart in uni. When you guys try to play to like, you go and be my twin.
No, but we didn't meet in uni. We went to the same uni, but we didn't meet in uni. So yeah, so from our uni days, she would have known we were twins.
Yeah. Man, what a life!
I think you have a show where you have the twin ladies.
Yeah, you should have invited Candy and Taiwo Melbury too.
Oh yeah, but that's true. That's so different. They're still so different. So different. Like night and day different, but they're sweet. They have like unique personalities, but they're both sweet. So yeah, that would be nice.
To me and Candy.
Very similar, yeah. Your Taiwo is more like Taiwo, yeah. Your Taiwo, Candy, yeah. Similar.
Candy is more.
I concur.
And more of the troublemaker and everything, and more. Yeah. Anyway.
They're unique. You both are unique, and I think with time I've come to just accept that. As me being on the other side, it's just trying to accept that it's all a fantasy in my head that twins should always do things together, and even though they're like different people, it could also be the way we're groomed. The movies we watch, the way they talk about twins, like everything should be done in unison, and you realize that it's a lot of pressure. Because I feel like I'm unique. That said, having a twin, I think it will be stressful because it's like I'm not as unique as I think, because there's always a constant reminder. So I guess there are pros and cons to this.
Also, T-Dawg should will know this, that twins have also been a useful asset to the world in a lot of medical trials.
Research, yeah.
You have to have the control and somebody that is. So anytime you say a twin, just give us money. We can talk about, thanks for bringing that point. We can talk about the relative contribution of twins, especially their valuable scientific insight, but there's been a lot of controversies, because I know in the UK there was a time, even in the US as well, they separated twins intentionally, identical twins, and they didn't tell them they were identical. They wanted to raise the whole question of nurture versus nature. What's his name? The survival of the fittest guy. Darwin, his brother, I think his cousin or so, was a very known twins fanatic, and he did a lot of very questionable research on twins. And even during World War II, Mengele, who was infamously known as the Angel of Death, he performed a lot of brutal experiments on inmates, including a large number of twins. So there's been a lot of issues with that. And I think there's a story of the Gibbons twins. I don't know if you heard them. They were both in the UK, actually. They came from the Caribbean. And these twins, they invented their own languages. They never used to talk to... They hardly talk to people. Yes. And they said that one twin had to die for the other person to live. And one of the twins actually just mysteriously died. They put them in a care home because they were committing a lot of crimes. And even their parents couldn't talk to them. They had just invented their language. It's a true life story. And one of the twins eventually passed away, just slept off and said she was one person had to give up their life for the other twin to live their life. But they were very smart. They wrote poems. They
they were very artistic, but they just had they were locked into their own world. So we can have some really, really spooky, extreme expression of twins.
Were they females or males?
Females, strongly connected.
That buttresses my point. I think female identical twins are even more connected. If you ever see this shows on TV, they are much more connected to each other. Than male identical twins. For the guys, if you read about the Adedipe twins, you know.
Oh yeah. The ones I used to sing, yeah. I think one of them passed away. Yeah.
One of them passed away
from cancer. Yeah, the same. Yeah. It could also be the hormonal influences. Which ones again? Yeah.
Then there are also a set of twins too again that sang. They're also musicians too. One died recently. What's the name? I've forgotten the name.
What song? Are they Nigerians?
Nigerians. One I can't remember honestly, but one also died recently. They died. There was this medical condition called. If I see the name, I'll send to you. Don't worry. Okay. So I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you tonight. They were really connected, and ever since one just passed away,
it was never the same.
Ever the same.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm done with all my questions. I'd like to wrap up. I don't know if you guys wanted to say anything before we bring to a close.
Oh, I just remember that I didn't get to really comment on, I think, one of the questions you asked about.
Which one was that?
Like if we, plan to, like...
Oh, yeah, your childhood dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if Kenny remembers, we were younger then, and, he wanted to go into, I think we were in secondary school then, and, we're like, we're going to design the house.
I went to school. I was joined together.
And it's funny how that kind of stuck in my mind, and then even till today, I still tell him, "What are you doing in UK? Come to
How will we take every opportunity?
Come and build a house, build a wall."
Don't worry, we will manifest it to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, happen.
Anyways, I want to just say, this was very eye-opening for me. I feel like I'm left with a deeper appreciation for the unique complexities and joys of twin life, and all of you just being here and peeling back that curtain of what it means to share such an intimate bond while also striving for your own individuality across continents. So in this episode so far, we've explored everything, from societal expectations and misconceptions that twins face, their personal stories, and getting a glimpse of their lives, showing us that while they might share many similarities, their journeys are, distinctly their own. And I hope this is something I will leave with our audience today. For non-twins, maybe you have a twin in your family, perhaps you're a twin, or you want twins, you're married to a twin, or you have twin siblings, and we hope that this has really helped to lend support. And I want to thank our guests, the Popoolas and Adedipe, for their openness, and to you listeners for joining us, especially to Mrs. Popoola Tutu for encouraging and chiming in with very comedic timelines. So we hope that this episode really has helped you remind you of the value of understanding and appreciating everyone's unique experience. And each relationship is a world of its own, rich with its own stories and secrets, twins or not. And that said, this has been the More Sibyl Podcast, where we try to bring stories that bridges cultures and, connect lives. So until next time, keep celebrating your uniqueness and finding ways to strive to connect with one another. And Mo, if you love this episode, just find us on Instagram, on Facebook, at the More Sibyl Podcast. And thank you so much, Kendi and Taiwo, Adedipe, and also for Kendi, Popoola. We're sorry your twin couldn't join. We hope that we catch him another time, hopefully. And thank you to the audience as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Mos.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.